Hello and everybody, and welcome to the Smisken Community Smite League. We're on game one of the inaugural match, and we've got Team Insomnia Gaming versus Rising Sun. We've got Insomnia Gaming on the left and Rising Sun on the right. Coming through the first couple of bands, we have All, Rat, Bakasaurus, and Ao Kwong. I myself am your caster for this set, Sam, and just joined is my co-caster, Rob,
Oh, hi guys.
and we are going through with the top picks. Kamazot prioritized his first pick, very powerful in the solo lane. Oh, switched over to Artemis.
This is an interesting pick. I think Artemis obviously quite likes some CC follow-up from our team, so sure we'll see some of that coming through later on.
A risk in terms of low escape with just a speed up, but does have that ult for CC immunity and a stun. Mercury picked up on the
Definitely.
other team. Quite a high-profile god, can move around very quickly.
I wonder if
Very
that
powerful.
Mercury is in response to that Artemis. You know,
Can
it's complete opposite.
can lock down very easily, and with the
Yeah.
Kumakana to try and give some CC on the other side of that.
Okay, so we've got the Horus coming in now, and a Jormungandr as well.
I imagine that Horus is going into support with your Hades going into solo.
Although it could be a Hades mid. It's
Could be a Hades mid, but with the current meta shifts, Hades has become very prevalent in the solo lane, being very powerful. And to answer back, you have a Sun Wukong coming back to fight against that.
and I wonder if perhaps Pfizer's Live is a bit more comfortable in Sun Wukong into Hades. So
You've had
Sun Wukong's not especially strong at the moment, but he's always been in a okay state.
with the current mid-season patches, you've had a lot of changes to solo recently. So a lot more gods that are usually prioritized have now been eased off, and you're having this more ability-based warriors with Soul Eater, Stone of Gaia come in, or mages or guardians, things that are a bit more tanky and can survive a bit more hits due to the previous nerf of Glad Shield and Berserker Shield.
Just seen that Scylla ban and a Nemesis ban come through.
To Nemesis on focus on jungle, and then on the other side we've got focuses on mid.
Yeah.
We've got the mid and ADC left to pick for Rising Sun, and the either mid or solo, depending on where that Hades is going, and jungler for Insomniac Gaming.
And the Hou ban coming through as the final ban.
So Hachiman picked up for Rising Sun going into ADC lane. Quite a powerful matchup, quite a powerful god at the moment in this current patch. Has that good escape, good CC.
And matches up quite well with Kumbhakana as well, I'd say.
It's got the root flag potential to deal heavy damage. On the other side, we have an Agni and Pel picked up. Pele.
So I think, yeah, they've both got a solid amount of mid pressure there with the Agni. We'll see who he matches up against next. Merlin could be an interesting pick to fight into an Agni.
Merlin is very powerful at the moment with a lot more CC, or not CC, but a lot more damage coming out from his different stances, and a lot of AoE as well as that flicker for a quick escape compared to your traditional leap or jump.
Yeah, and Pele can't lock him down quite as good as a Mercury could.
As we go into the game, we'll see who's prioritizing who. The Agni pickup is an interesting one because he's certainly become more powerful in the recent notes. Usually, I would expect a Discord or a Raijin, similar gods that have that escape, that high damage prioritized. So it's certainly an interesting pick.
I think as well, if that Agni can get online, I think he can do a good job of dealing with some of the other threats coming out of Rising Sun.
Especially with the how short cooldown that ult can be on. 15 seconds per bomb, and each bomb does a hefty chunk of damage. certainly pick up and deal a lot of damage on either side. So we have,
especially if you combos it with a Hades ult as well, definitely.
especially locking down a lot of members, just hoping that most of the team doesn't use their escape and are trapped in that big circle. We have on the Chaos side, Rising Sun up against the Insomniac Gaming on the Order side. A bit of an interesting one on this match. This match will be split over 3 days. So we've got game 1 today. This is due to 2 players on each team having to sub out. So for this game, there is a sub on the Insomniac Gaming. Game 2, there'll be a sub on, I believe, the Rising Sun Gaming, and then game 3, there'll be a sub on both teams, and it will be a best of the 3 to decide who wins.
Just trying to, feel it out of these early stages of the tournament, and trying to make adjustments where necessary to make sure games are fair and balanced.
Trying to fit around the players as well. Quite a standard start. The Pele is going up into the jungle, maybe getting an early pressure ward, trying to feel out.
Could be dangerous though, as a team still in base.
Especially with those 3 members lurking around the right-hand side of the jungle.
So Insomnia are a bit slow out the gate there, but shouldn't affect too much as they'll get to their buffs on time.
Still have plenty of time to get their buffs.
No invades or anything.
Checking over to see, put an early ward on that mana camp on the right. And it's gonna, as I said, it's gonna be a Horus support with a Hades solo, which is going to be a bit interesting as you'll have both double physical on that left-hand side. It might be easier to cancel out, cancel down, get some protections, try and deal with that side a lot quicker.
It also depends on how that Hades builds. If he goes pure damage or if he tries to get a bit more utility out of it. Seeing some early pressure in the duo lane.
Got the dash just off the mark.
As Rising Sun have cleared the minion wave first, they managed to sort of aggressive the foes, and we see a kill there. That's first from blood. Rising Sun.
Double kill going to Rising Sun on that solo side lane.
So as I was saying, they cleared that wave super quickly and just got straight into poking the enemy.
I can't help but think that the dash being off the mark from the Horus there didn't help them in any way.
Yeah,
there was a bit of a scuffle over on the Totem of Ku, but the Hades seems to have been more dominant in that lane and has claimed it for his team.
I'd imagine that's due to Hades' stronger wave clear. Although Summer Kong, his wave clear is pretty solid with that big cudgel.
It's also the healing from the Hades as well, especially if he builds into lifesteal early on. But he's gone for the penetration boots.
Oh, and you see this duo lane now. Horus is still level 1, and Rising Sun are starting to push in, and maybe they'll pick up another kill here. But they back off. Although Hachiman's got that long range, you can never be too careful.
Very close, but we have an early gank in from Insomniac to try and ease off the pressure, try and reduce that pressure in the early game. They're just going to retreat off, go back into the jungle. Meanwhile in mid, quite even fight, but the Agni's got better mana consumption, but again in his duo lane.
See, Horus has that heal, but he still can't take that much damage from the Hachiman.
Very ballsy play going in with that
dash
there with low health.
Last resort, perhaps, of just trying to get that last bit of damage off, perhaps. So already we're seeing like a pretty solid gold lead and even an XP lead on the side of Rising Sun.
Especially you've got the 1 level lead on the support and the 2 level lead on the AVDC, which is the more powerful one. 1,000 in 3 minutes is quite a substantial position to be in, and especially with that gold lead, that's just going to let you skyrocket, and they're going to further improve it with that invade of that early purple.
Definitely. They can just walk back to lane and start farming the creeps again pretty safely. Both pretty healthy looking, although this Artemis is quite low. Maybe they'll look to try and get another pick here.
And as I said in the picks and bans phase, you got the Artemis with not a lot of escapability or survivability outside of that ult. So during that first 5 levels until you get that ult, you don't have that survivability outside of just maybe a root or the speed up.
No, definitely. I think as well, Artemis definitely takes a little while to get online. Whereas Hachiman, not quite so much.
Hachiman's got that, they can get that dash from level 2, level 3. Whereas Artemis, although it can get a speed up, it's still not as good as, say, a jump or a leap.
Perhaps a gank in mid lane. Pele's
There
going to miss the knockup again. She can't
Again,
lock down.
Oh, the
Got a
rising
Mercury
sun.
engaging back in. Perhaps trying to look to take out Pele. Both very low. Perhaps Merlin will take it. He's going to go for it. Diving under the tower. Maybe a risky move. Pele's just going to try and chase him down now.
Pele does have the speed up from that one, but of course they're both low. And they're just going to retreat back off with the Merlin coming in to try
another kill in duo lane. Again, that constant pressure in the duo lane. It's relentless. And I think now they've got their XP lead, perhaps. The guys at Insomnia maybe send their support elsewhere, try and make plays on other sides of the map. Because duo lane's looking pretty locked down.
That early game Agni and Pele damage to try and limit them to have their impact less known. But on the other side, Rising Sun are getting Insomnia Gaming are getting heavy damage on that right side tower, with the Hades just out pushing the Sun Wukong in this current time.
So just everyone's resetting back into lane now.
I think with the Artemis, you kind of need to play under tower now. You need to try and keep your...
Just try and farm it up for the late game.
As this Horus, he's especially going to find it difficult into this early game, going into late game to get farm now. With
Yeah, they're just going to come over to their purple buff and just fight them at their own buff. Big mesmerize there. Wonder if we'll see the Hatchman ult come out.
You have the Pele coming in, try and do something, and get to pick up a kill.
And shutting down that ADC is really important, especially with that early lead.
Especially with the early kills, you can get some catch-up gold.
Oh, and we see another 2 kills in mid lane. Oh, sorry, 1 kill in solo, 1 kill in mid.
The Agni gets the solo on the Merlin, but on the flip side, the Sun Wukong gets the solo on the Hades. Very surprising, especially with the Hades self-heal built into his kit. I'll be interested to see what the Hades has gone into, whether it's pure damage or maybe picked up a bit of defense and just couldn't handle it.
So we see a big Mercury ult into mid lane, just going to try and duel the other jungler. It's doing a pretty good job of it so far.
Pele, you have that
movement speed.
You have that movement speed built in.
And we see a blink coming out as well, very aggressive, but Agni is going to come and shut that down, maybe even get the return kill. Although duo lane is not looking so hot for Insomnia. We see them both aggressing onto that Artemis.
Luckily she managed to get out, but the Horus is taking a very big beating, and this will not help them in the mid to late game. Having that underleveled Horus is just going to be, although he's still got some utility with the heal, the ult of moving the team across the map, he's going to be very weak and can die very quickly.
They're just going to try and find that farm, especially on support. It's very difficult. And there you go, Artemis gets picked up on the duo side.
That flag damage is just too powerful, especially with the long range damage and the ability to fire those long range autos back at them.
Well, and I think Kumba did go down, but obviously that passive just goes to sleep. And he gets right back up again. I think he'll safely get to base as well. Big fight in the mid lane. But again, Merlin blinks out. Free of harm. Hades is getting aggressed on in solo. And with 2 of them, they might pick it up. There you go.
Again, I think it's important trying to shut down the lead they have across the map. You've neutralized duo for the time being. Now you've got to look to where the other teams have their impact. Solo was getting heavily aggressed. They've gone over and done a gank on solo, try and limit their impact. I wouldn't be surprised if this mid is going to be their next focus point. Try and reduce the gap the Agni has got on this Merlin.
We'll see. The gold lead is starting to even out a little bit. Still early days, but that XP difference is heavily in favor of Rising Sun.
It's getting to the point now where if they can neutralize this Agni in mid lane, and they've already semi-neutralized the Artemis and the Horus, they can start looking at this gold fuel and just increasing their gold lead even further, just further neutralizing what.
So we've got an
Insomnia
Agni heading over
game.
to Duo here, trying to make something interesting happen. Just trying to go for the shutdown. There's a Horus ult coming in with a shield. Hachiman used the ult to escape and gets a kill on the way. And maybe Kumbra will get something.
Happen. You got the Pele coming around the back, potentially going to gank onto Hachiman and try and shut him down.
Does have her ult up, but
you also have the Merlin and the Mercury coming in as well.
You can see that Rising Sun just rotating over, ready to fight anytime.
Ready to defend that lead they have in that duo lane.
Agni's got to be careful here. He's got that dash, but he is
good leads with that Pele.
Very low on health.
Pele is not looking healthy.
Pele just too slow and gets picked up there.
Agni making it out with the skin of his teeth. The Mercury trying to chase him, see if something happens.
So perhaps if Mercury has ult up, maybe he'll dash through it. But I think he's just going to go and steal some of their camps and take some of that gold for himself instead. See, Totem of Ku going the way of Insomnia. So, they're still getting these objectives. They're still trying to flatten out that gold lead.
Try and secure small wins, and that is all you can do in this position. If you're getting pummeled hard, you've got to try and look for these small wins across different parts of the map. Try and see if you can get some invades, get those neutral objectives, the oracles, the Totem of Ku, just to give you small bonuses throughout the map.
Oh,
got
had a little pause
coming through here. Maybe another one.
Maybe some of the teams are just trying to
fix some issues they have early on.
Could be. Either that or maybe someone wants just a quick break just to chat with the team, see where they're at, and
try and discuss future plans, sort of level out the thinking.
So 11-3 on the scoreboard at the moment. It's still fairly early. We just hit 10 minutes. But
with that 2k gold difference, although it is across most people, it's a 400 lead on most people, and it just gives you that ability to secure more wins via it either being another item, maybe the start of something, or getting more vision on the map to be able to get these ganks and further snowball your lead into something else. I think Rising Sun are starting to run away with it, and it's going to be incredibly difficult for Insomnia to try and fight back into this.
Definitely, although not impossible. I think they've got they've got a good few late game characters on their team. If they just get that farm going, get that XP up, get the gold going, and maybe they can start to bring it back. There we go. I think we're on pause now. Get back into the action.
I'll be interested to see what the each one is built, but
and Horus goes down again, just a bit too far behind. I think he's going to struggle there.
Bit too far behind. Not that many items online. I wouldn't be.
And also Artemis was too far away. He couldn't dash to her. That's his main escape.
Be surprised if a lot of this gold and XP lead is in this duo lane that is causing them to struggle. We have a Pele and the Agni coming in, but a Mercury and Merlin are.
The ball goes out, but the tower goes down, so they might be able to pick up a kill on Kumbhakana, but it's only worth so much.
You have the Hachiman going in, picking up a kill, but it's a very risky one.
The whole duo lane's very low. They're going to pick up both of those. Pele should be able to finish this one off, or perhaps not with the Merlin going in to protect. But they do manage to finish him off. Mercury cleans up the Pele, and we're going to see him go and try and fight the Agni.
Very bloody battle in this right-hand side.
And Horus shows up right as it finishes. There's no one left. 15-7 on the scoreboard. That was a bit of a shift, but I think still in favor of Rising Sun ever so slightly.
Was that was a 4-for-4 with a Horus coming back after the respawn? Would I be taking that as Rising Sun? I don't think.
Well, I think they got the tower off of it. I think that's That's the key there.
But for getting that shutdown gold, and you can see the graph starting to go up again into Insomniac's favor. Insomniac, 100% take that every day. You're getting your gold, you're getting your XP, perfect. For Rising Sun, I think they got a bit too greedy, a bit too, full of themselves. Thought, yeah, we can do this, we can push it, and Insomniac have just taken it out from under them.
And perhaps by focusing that tower, they maybe put themselves a little bit out of position to get ganked there and got caught out by the Pele. Merlin coming over as well, Agni. Just bringing the fight to duo lane. Again, this is straight aggression onto Horus, and he can't do anything.
It's times like this you got to look at maybe the Hades. Oh,
there you go.
Agni getting a kill on
picks up
Merlin.
Mercury with the return. It's just 1-for-1 trades here and there across the map. Trying to get whatever you can.
Meanwhile, the Pele is trying to see what they can pick up on the other side, but can they turn it? Yes, they can.
They can.
The important thing with that first tier 1 tower is it opens up the map so much more for Rising Sun over Insomniac. Insomniac now going to have to, when they retreat, run back so much further.
Horus dies again. Probably looking to pick up the Artemis here.
You get so much more freedom as Rising Sun into that left jungle to go for these Gold Furies that they're now going to try.
There we go, yeah. Now they've got the picks, they've got the vision out there as well. They can safely take this without any sort of repercussion.
Artemis
so
can have a look, but
yeah, just too late.
Just try and get this farm, run away before they all come back.
Well, you notice the Hades split push in the solo. He's doing some work over there.
Some Wukong came over to try and help the Gold Fury, try and mitigate anyone coming to interrupt. But
there you go, 2-1 tower on solo. So Hades slowly just chipping away at Rising Sun's defenses there on the other side of the map.
So there we go. So we got 8-18 with this scoreboard at 14 minutes. A very bloody game at the moment. Lots of people have fallen. You have Rising Sun looking very powerful, especially with this duo lane currently. Bear in mind that the Horus, I believe, is a sub for the game, so you might have in the future a very different duo lane when they have their player actually playing.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know how much these teams have practiced, but I think that that duo lane dynamic is very important. Big B's coming out there from Agni, trying to save himself. 2 players aggressing onto him. He's going to get caught out by the Mercury, but maybe he'll live. Pele gets to the trade.
Meanwhile, this Kumbhakana just seeing what he can, but the Hades coming in with a surprise rotation to try and make something happen. Try and use that early game advantage he has got to try and turn fights, and he catches the Merlin and the Kumbha.
Pele's going to try and get away with a sliver of life. Sun Wukong's looking to pick up that kill.
Come over. Decided to try and put this Hades back in its place.
Dual lane's coming over, but maybe it's too late. They might be able to catch Hachiman out of position, although Kumbas might be able to peel for him.
Meanwhile,
Sun Wukong is chasing him across the jungle. There he goes. Cudgel takes Pele's life.
The Artemis Boar has been used to try and make something happen, but a 2v3. Oh, there is the Horus as well, 3v3. But he's
going to try and ult, very risky move. I think he might not make it. Oh, but he does get that shield. Maybe we'll see some plays come out of him.
Dangerous thing with the Horus is it's still targetable where you go into the air. So you just become a moving target.
We see the
return of Agni on respawn.
Sun Wukong's clone coming out. He's going to keep pushing forward.
And he gets that Horus again. Again, the Horus failing to make an impact with that early game deficit that they've sustained.
Rising Sun collapses on the remaining enemies, perhaps looking to get some objectives.
We could see this go into a tier 2, maybe even a Phoenix or a Fire Giant or Pyromancer, depending on what they're feeling. With the Hachiman heading into that right jungle, I wouldn't be surprised they're going for maybe that Pyromancer to get a little bit of gold, a little bit more XP, and just to further improve their lead into the battle.
You can definitely see Rising Sun, they know their objectives, they know to take what they can, not get too greedy, and just back off out of there and pick up a few buffs and bits and pieces on the way.
There is a slight worry with this, they haven't got that much ward vision on that on that right-hand side towards the other side jungle, but with the amount of people dead, they've just burned it too quickly.
Yeah, you see that duo is just starting to get into the lane now with Horus trying to defend mid. But Rising Sun have already got all they need. They've got what they wanted. They got kills. They got gold. Got that
They've got
XP
towers.
going. Just get out
They've
there.
now got the power needed to start and snowball that lead even further.
Look at that 10k XP difference, almost 7k gold difference.
You're
Starting to mount up.
Yeah, you're looking at about 1,400 a player. That is quite a large chunk of gold in that chase. That's enough to get your tier 2 items to tier 3, and you start getting those powerful items online.
So they're going to regress into this Hatchman, maybe be able to get a kill. And he's just going to
Hatchman
ride on out there.
Hatchman overstepped, but again, he's got that ult of safety. I like what Insomnia are doing here. They're trying to pick up the farm they can. They're trying to get those mid camps and stuff like that. Just try and soften the blow a bit.
Yeah, they don't want to be fighting too much here. Got the XP lead.
The Agni's gone
Agni's
here.
Getting caught out. Hades might be able to save him.
Hades coming in. Hopefully get a bit of peel, but putting yourself in like that gives you too much focus.
I think Pele might get... Yeah, there we go. Mercury picks up the Pele. Movement speed's not the greatest escape. That's all she's got. See the team Rising Sun here just moving around as this huge death ball and just trying to pick up as many kills as they can.
You're starting to see the difference in what these two supports can achieve. The Horus not really making that too much of an impact, but that Kumbhakana with both types of CC he has is roaming around this map and just stopping people down.
And you see this is very clever as well. We've got this big fight in the mid Phoenix, but also Mercury in that solo lane just slowly chipping away at those towers. Getting the split push going.
Try and just use that fire giant all you can. Try and take it and just push down these towers. Try and get them to further cement your position. Although there is still plenty of gold on the map for Insomniac to get, they are behind those towers that are going to be an issue.
There you go, yeah. Mercury's taken 2 towers in that little split push lane. And see Rising Sun have just taken that Phoenix, said that's enough, we're just going to go get the Oni Fury. And they get that uncontested.
Get the Oni Fury, get the rest of the farm on the map. Try and limit what they can give to Team Insomniac Gaming. Just sort of soften the blow almost, and reduce that threat of them coming back into the game. Just limit what they can do and try and focus on the game. But now they're going to have to deal with both not only Oni waves, but Oni fire waves coming down that mid lane. That's going to be incredibly powerful. And it's something
that Oni Fury will definitely do a lot of work for Rising Sun in terms of sieging those towers, getting those objectives down, threatening the Titan even through that mid lane. Insomnia have just got to be wary of that. They try and clear it up.
And as you can see, they've sent all 4 members over to that mid lane to try and deal with that wave. I'll be interested to see what Insomniac do here. I don't think they should defend the tower, but just try and defend the Phoenix. The tower's not worth losing your life for, but the Pele is.
Well, we see a big ball coming in from Artemis, who picks up a kill in the backline. Kumba's dealing with the rest of them, though, holding them still while the rest of the Rising Sun start to push in. Big Hades ult, but no follow-up.
I think that's the issue you have when you pick Horus into a Kumbhakana. Is the Horus is very single target CC, whereas that Kumba has got that big silence, the big sleep, the big room.
There we go. There's a Deicide on the side of Rising Sun, and they're just going to clean up the Phoenix, perhaps even get Titan off of this with those big minions coming in.
With the fire wave pushing down mid and on left, I think this is game. 21 minutes.
33 to 12. It's a very impressive display by Rising Sun there, and there you go, cleaning up the win.
Very dominant display, showing what they can do.
Starting off the league, right, with a big player, yeah.
We'll be interested to see what happens in the future.